Critique of my performance is open, but to attack my character or suggest my success is fabricated is a disrespect not only to me. Mount I divert, but to every athlete who works tirelessly to be here. I hope this action reminds the media that behind the athlete you analyze, there is a human being with the same accountability applies to everyone, without exception.
How does it feel to have been vulnerable like that in a room of 24,000 people and I don't know how many millions of people watching at home?
It feels human, I think. I think being an athlete, people kind of disregard that side of us, the human side of things. And
it started with one of the most emotional interviews Coco Gauff has ever given. She stood there in front of 24,000 fans, eyes heavy, voice cracking, admitting that she felt human. Not a superstar, not the number 3 player in the world, just human. And for a split second, the world saw a side of Coco they'd never seen before. Vulnerable, honest, and raw.
Gauff retaliated with a $50 million lawsuit, citing defamation and professional harm.
You know, people say so many things like, you know, number 3 in the world and you're doing this or you're playing like this and you should be better and things like that. But like at the end of the day, like I feel like I've already, if I stopped and didn't pick up a racket tomorrow, I have a career that so many people would dream of. But I think I just showed people what it's like to be a human, and I have bad days, but I think it's more about how you get up after those bad moments and how you show up after that. And I think today I showed that I can get up after feeling the worst I've ever felt on the court.
Gauff herself had previously articulated the intense psychological weight of her career. How does it feel to have been vulnerable like that in a room of 24,000 people? And I don't know how many millions of people watching at home. It feels human. She noted that athletes often have their human side disregarded, with the public often criticizing her position as number 3 in the world, demanding she should be better. Yet she affirmed her perspective.
Matt.
Well done, Coco. Thanks. After everything that happened on Thursday night, did you wake up feeling a little differently yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I just realized that I don't want that moment to happen again, like on court for sure. And yeah, I'm not someone who, like, I don't know, I don't want to show, like, I guess weakness in moments, but after the match I was thinking like maybe it's not a weakness, it's just showing the things that happen in my head and not keeping it inside to the point where I can't play. But I felt with a new perspective, seeing how the support I've gotten since that moment, just seeing how proud of people are of me regardless of how I do here. So today I felt a lot lighter going on court. And I hope to continue feeling that lightweight for the rest of the time here.
I feel like I've already, if I stopped and didn't pick up a racket tomorrow, I've have a career that so many people would dream of. Her emotional display on court, she reflected, was simply showing people what it's like to be a human. This legal action was far more than mere retribution. It was a strategically placed marker. The immediate question across Sports Desk was clear. Did Gauff overreach, or had Fox Sports finally faced consequences for years of reckless commentary? The incident swiftly grew from a simple sports spat into a monumental debate on media responsibility and accountability in the age of instantaneous broadcasting. The reckless commentary and the burned line. The event that sparked the lawsuit occurred during routine pre-tournament coverage for the Miami Open. The broadcast, intended for tennis analysis, suddenly veered into an aggressive personal attack. A Fox Sports host diverged sharply from his mandate to deliver a personal takedown of Coco Gauff. He publicly questioned her maturity and attitude, even going so far as to claim her victories were based more on hype than skill. This inflammatory statement, delivered live on national television without any filter or second thought, was perceived as a moment of straight-up disrespect. Gauff, while no stranger to scrutiny, often labeled as too young, too emotional, or overhyped, perceived this attack differently. It was not fair game critique, but a deliberate attempt to publicly humiliate a 19-year-old who had already achieved more than most professional athletes ever dream of. The reaction online was instantaneous and massive. Trending hashtags included Shadrik defend Coco and Shak respect the game. The fury was shared beyond the fan base, as prominent figures like Serena Williams and Naomi Osaka, along with numerous WTA players, publicly voiced support for Gauff. This unified defense from within the athletic community strongly suggested that the commentator had not merely crossed a line, but had burned it entirely. The calculated counterstrike and the $50 million statement. While the media landscape debated her next move, Gauff exhibited a strategic composure that refuted claims of immaturity. She maintained a public silence, declining to post an emotional rant or engage in a quick PR stunt. Instead, while the world speculated, Gauff was already preparing her legal counterstrike. The formal action filed accused Fox Sports and the host of defamation, emotional distress, and professional harm, seeking $50 million in damages. The monetary figure, though enormous, served as a crucial part of the message. Athletes would no longer be torn down for television ratings without facing severe consequences. Gauff's reputation was not just personal, it was her business, foundational to her major brand sponsorships and public trust. When a host implied her success was manufactured, it represented a direct financial and professional hit. Gauff's legal team meticulously laid out their case. Defamation, asserting the statements were false, misleading, and intentionally damaging to her reputation. Emotional distress, arguing the tone was geared towards humiliation rather than honest critique. Professional harm, claiming the attack questioned her legitimacy, threatening her income and corporate partnerships. Legal experts were quick to endorse the strength of her case, noting, "This isn't just about damages, it's about accountability. You can't attack someone's character on national television and expect zero fallout." Gauff, upon finally speaking, maintained a poise that amplified her message. "I've always let my game speak for itself. When false stories are spread, they not only hurt me, but they disrespect every athlete who works hard for what they achieve. This is about fairness, not fame." This response, calm, confident, and factual, was embraced by fans and analysts alike, who viewed it as a redefining moment for athlete accountability. Media panic and the collapse of the shock value model. Fox Sports' immediate response was one of chaos and denial. Their PR team issued a generic statement expressing respect for Gauff and asserting the comments were purely opinion and not intended as personal attacks. The legal reality, however, was far more grim. The host, who had often boasted of his unfiltered opinions, went into complete and total silence, a clear sign of legal intervention. Fox Sports went into full panic mode. The network quickly removed the offending clip from their website and quietly edited it out of subsequent replays, attempting to erase the evidence. However, the internet never forgets, and the clip had already been saved, reposted, and viewed millions of times. The network's actions amplified the hypocrisy, as rival commentators mocked Fox for suddenly struggling to handle the accountability they regularly demanded of others. Legal insiders began dissecting the case, concluding that Gauff had receipts. The consensus was that the comments had crossed the clear legal line between valid criticism and defamation. Once you imply someone's success is fake or undeserved, you're attacking their reputation, not their performance. In other words, Fox didn't just cross the line, they sprinted past it. The fallout escalated as major corporate sponsors rallied around Gauff. Companies like Nike and New Balance publicly praised her for standing up for herself. The power dynamic had irrevocably shifted. Gauff was no longer just an athlete. She was the face of athlete empowerment, holding a major media corporation accountable for its on-air words. The power of precedent and the new era of sports reporting. The lawsuit quickly became a pivotal moment in sports culture. Behind the scenes, legal sources indicated Fox's lawyers immediately attempted to negotiate a private settlement, an offer Gauff's team reportedly declined, at least initially. Their motivation transcended financial gain. They sought to set a precedent. If Gauff prevails, the message to every sports network will be unambiguous. The shock value model, reliant on personal attacks for ratings, is financially untenable. Seasoned journalists conceded that this case could fundamentally reshape sports media commentary policies across the country. Networks were reportedly sending out cautious memos, and hosts were suddenly very careful about how they addressed young athletes. Gauff, meanwhile, continued to focus on her tennis, showing up to tournaments and playing some of her best tennis of the season. Every victory served as a quiet, powerful reminder. Discipline and confidence are unbreakable, and you cannot tear down someone built on a strong foundation. Her response was strategic, not emotional. That is why the lawsuit resonated so profoundly. By taking decisive legal action, Gauff redefined athlete accountability. The WTA officially supported her right to protect her reputation, emphasizing mental well-being and respectful reporting. The beautiful irony is that the host who called her overhyped inadvertently handed her the biggest PR win of her career, transforming her into a global icon for the rights of public figures. The case is still ongoing, but its impact is already solidified. Coco Gauff demonstrated that the modern athlete is not powerless. She is strategic, smart, and unafraid to utilize every tool available to protect her worth. Her action is not just about a lawsuit, it is a profound turning point in sports culture. Gauff did not just serve justice, she served notice.